Alrighty, it's Saturday, December 13th, and I thought I'd be a little bit more diligent in keeping up with the videos instead of waiting several days between them. And I thought I'd just catch you up on what's going on Saturday. All right, I did dig this hole here for the security camera post. And because I have to supply the camera with electricity for the little converter that runs the camera, I don't have to worry about placing the post in an area where it's always going to get sun for a solar panel. So that means I can be a little bit closer to the house. And this particular spot I chose because I can see down through this easement where the electric lines go. And it also gives me some line of sight along this driveway access. You can see cars going down here. And then I can also just turn slightly and see the Quonset hut, and then turn a little bit more and see the house and also the little smaller shed. And then if I turn all the way around, I can see anybody coming onto the property from the entrance. So this is a pretty good spot, I think, to place it. The camera does spin, so I can move it in any direction that I want remotely. And this is the hole that I dug. It's pretty deep. I think I might have gone a little too deep. Let's see. Get that shovel in here. Put that down here. It's about there. So yeah, it's about that deep. Pretty deep. I think that's plenty deep for what I'm going to need. All right, let's go down to the Quonset hut and I'll show you what's going on with the carriage doors. All right, I'll turn you on in another second or so. All right, we're in the Quonset hut. I got the little wand sheathing cut for the northern facing door, both sides. So I got the one, this is the inside, it's got the big cut where the aluminum triangles are. And then I also have, can't see it, it's behind that one, but well, actually, no, it's not. It's over here. It's on the floor. But yeah, I've got the sheathing for both doors, both sides, all cut. And it's got the screw holes, so it should go back right into place after I'm done with what I'm doing. Over here, I put them on the floor. This is the outer sheathing for the doors. And I marked where the X will go, the trim on the outside. So I mapped it out where exactly it will be. And then this is the inner side of the sheathing. I'm cutting these pieces of wide lath and I'm going to glue them on the inside of that panel so that when I'm screwing the X, which is the trim on the outside, will go like this and like this. I'll have something to screw into from the back because this is the direction in which the tension member goes, which is just an all thread. This side's got that big compression member. I can screw into that. That's wood. It's a 2x6, but there's nothing in this direction. So I'll glue these on. They won't interfere with the tension member because the tension member will be off to the side slightly. And then when I'm screwing in the X trim, it'll go into this wide lath. All right, I still have to I got this one done. I just have to cut the wide lath for this one, but I'm out of it, so I'm going to have to go pick up some at Lowe's. And then I've just continued on with the painting of the trim pieces, making good progress. Some of these I've already flipped over. I'm working on the second side, but yeah, I'm getting there. It's still boring, but you know, it's got to get done. And I think that's really all I got done today on Saturday. So hopefully I can finish up some trim tomorrow and maybe get the doors cut down and do a test fit tomorrow. All right, that's what I'm hoping for. Anyway, I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, it is Monday, December 15th, and I've been doing some ditch digging. Oh, isn't that fun? Okay, let me know what I've got going on here. So this is the ditch that I just dug for the electric and the Cat 6 cable for the security camera. So almost there. I think all I got to do is clean it out a little bit and I should be good to go. I just want it deep enough that it's not going to pop out of the ground. I'm thinking 6 inches is just perfect. And then it'll come in here and go into the post and up to the top. All right. Looks good, huh? Nice ditch. All right. Let me get down to the Quonset hut, show you what's going on down there. Be right back. One of the things that took me by surprise was that these black pipes here, after a few days of rain, 4 or 5 days of rain that we had, they were starting to rust. I'm like, what the heck? They looked, when I opened the box, they looked like they were painted, but apparently not. But these escutcheon plates, there's not a speck of rust on any of them. So they're either coated with something or painted, but the black pipe, this horizontal section, that was starting to rust. So I picked up some Rust-Oleum oil-based paint last time I was in town, and today I did a coat on every one of them as best I could, and I think it'll be fine. I think it goes on so thick I only need 1 coat, so we should be good to go on that. All right, let's go inside and show you a little more painting. The painting continues. It seems almost endless, but I'm actually making some pretty good progress. I think a couple more days of this and I should have all the boards painted, 3 coats, all sides, and good to go. Then I can start ripping them down for the outside to put them up as trim. Now down here, this I made today, which is going to be the top of the security camera post. It's upside down here, but it'll sit on the post, cover that top, and have a slight angle to it so that rain runs off of it. And then again, you're looking at this upside down, but this sort of square L shape will be where the camera actually mounts, and it'll be covered by this top piece. So just a little bit of protection from rain, not much, but it might just be enough. It just gets screwed on there, and then those screw holes, there's 2 screw holes that go right into the post. The post goes right in there like that. Again, upside down, so it's got to be flipped over. And then these over here, these are for joining the lower post to the upper post, just like I did for the Starlink tower. And the mullions are done. I got to cut more of them, but these are all done. And these are the pieces that go on the back side of the inner sheathing for the carriage doors so that I can screw in the X trim on the tension angle side of the door, because there's nothing behind it except plain old 1/8 inch Low-On. So that's really not quite enough. So I'm just putting something behind it I can screw into. All right, now I did do some door fitting. So here we go. There they are. I'm fitting these doors. I did have to make a number of trims to them. I had to cut the northern door, that's this one, right down this top piece here. I had to run that through the table saw just to take off about 3/16 of an inch. It was just a little too wide. And then I cut down these are the top sections that hold the plexiglass. So I had to cut them along the top. I actually did disassemble these. So I put, once I disassembled, I put this through the table saw to cut it down about 1/4 inch, and then I cut the ends off of these vertical sections, did it on both sides. So these fit pretty well. I think I'm good to go. We'll see. I may have to do a little bit more trimming. It depends on what I'm about to talk about next. And these doors, so the fitment issues that I ran into. Okay, I talked about this one was a little too wide. I had to slice a little bit off this vertical member on this door. But the problems I had, let me put the level on the floor here. There is like a fairly substantial hump in the concrete here. And you can see, if I can get this. Yeah. So I'm right on the hump here, and you can see that the level rocking back and forth on there. And I thought that was really going to be a major problem, but turns out that the concrete actually slopes up from here to here, and there is actually clearance on under this door, even though this backside is sitting right on the concrete. So the rest of the door actually sits a little bit above the concrete, so it is able to swing. I think what I'll have to do is just raise this door up maybe 1/16 of an inch, and I should have clearance to swing out this way. This one's fine because the concrete is going up. And so, and I've got a piece of lawn underneath there right now that's holding this door up, and that makes it level with this door right now. So I'm thinking to make this happen and just, keep my sanity and make sure I have clearance and everything, I'm going to raise this door up by like 1/16 of an inch, and then I'll do the same thing over here, so they'll go up together. This will get a little bit more clearance under here because the concrete's sloping down, and it'll just be enough clearance here for the door to swing, and out here it's no problem at all. And the other problem I noticed, now that I have fairly or almost completely square or rectangular things inside this opening, is that this vertical 2x6 here has a wave in it, and it kind of goes like this and then comes out like a hump and then comes back in. So I think what I'm going to do is get a belt sander and just slice a little bit right where the hump is. It's only about that wide, and the rest of it's fine. And that will allow me to pull this door back just a little bit and just maintain a little bit more clearance over here. But other than that, I'm fairly happy with the way it has fit so far. And yeah, I'm just going to keep working it. I got to get the top sections. I did have them on there, so they fit. I did have them screwed on there, but since I had to cut a little bit here and a little bit on the tops, I took them off, and I have them over here for painting. So I got one more coat of paint to go on here. This needs to get painted again here, 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 and here. And you can see this is where I cut it off. There was 2 screws here and here, but the cut line went right through those 2 screws. And, so it was like maybe another 1/4 inch, a little bit more than that higher. Again, I expected to do that. So not unexpected and nothing I'm really worried about. But while I have them off, I'm going to put the mullions in and put the plexiglass in as well. So let's see, I think that's about it. I'm preparing to put this security camera post up. I decided I had spray painted this black pipe here, but since I got the black paint for the outside black pipe extensions on the bar lights, I thought I'd just give it a coat of paint with that oil-based paint, help protect it a little bit more. And the 150-foot Cat 6 cable just arrived moments ago, so I can actually start to assemble this. And that is where I'm at end of day Monday. So talk to you on the next one. It is Tuesday, December 16th, and I just thought I'd do a quick video before I put this thing into the ground. So this is the trench. I showed you this before, but I made it a little deeper and a little wider just to, I don't know, I felt like it needed it. I just don't want just vibrations and driving over it and anything to work those wires out of the ground. So that would be a real pain to put back. So this is the security camera post. This is the bottom section is going to go in the ground. I've connected the two pieces with these bridge pieces here. I got one more to go on the bottom side. I actually may replace them with a little longer because I noticed when I'm carrying it, I'm getting a little flex in here. So yeah, no big deal. I can just cut longer 2x4s and put them on, you know, even after the fact. And I got both wires. I got the Cat 6 cable and the 120 volt electric wire going in here in this hole. It goes up through the iron pipe all the way to about here, and then it's just wire all the way up to here. Here's the outlet for the converter, and then on the bottom side of here the Cat 6 exits the 4x4, and then this is the top piece where the camera will mount. Camera will mount here into that L shape, and it's got a little bit of an angle to it so water runs off of it, and it gives a little bit of protection from rain coming straight down anyway. So yeah, that's it. Oh, I did put several coats of Flex Seal from the bottom all the way up to about here, almost to here. So that ought to help protect it from moisture. I was surprised at how fast it dried. It was dry within half hour. I'm going to give it another hour before I put it in the ground. But yeah, if you're using Flex Seal, it dries quickly. So that's a good thing. We do have some cool, dry weather, so that's probably helping. And then down at the bottom, I've got 2 bricks. That'll be the base. And then halfway up, I'll put 4 bricks around it, and then about 6 inches below the surface I'll put another 4 bricks around it just to help lock it into place. I did that with the Starlink tower over here, and it seems to be working really well. So that thing is really solid. It's been solid, so I'm going to just do the same thing. It seems to work, and then I'll start backfilling it. And I do have these cables run. They're basically going over to the house, and they're going to meet up with the other cable going in from the Starlink system, and then it'll go in through the wall of the trailer and plug into the router right about there. Where is it? Oh yeah, here, right there. So just drape it with the other ones and then all the way back out to the tower. All right, well, that's it for Tuesday afternoon. See you in the next one. Real quickly, this is how I lock those bricks into place. I just put 2 at the bottom that this post sits on, and then halfway up I'm putting these bricks to surround it, and then about 4 or 5 inches from the top I'll put another 4 like this pattern around the post. And that's what I seem to think really makes it stable. Anyway, hope this helps. Alrighty, it is Tuesday afternoon. Almost the end of the day, and I got the security camera tower up and should be functional. I have to test it out tonight, but it's got power and it has Cat 6 cable connection to it, so looks pretty good. Needs a little bit of tidying up with the cables. I'll get to that in a bit. And I got to paint this 4x4, but it was too wet, so I didn't want to paint it because usually the paint will just peel off if it's too wet. But it is drying out. It's definitely more dry than when I had originally purchased it. So within a couple of weeks, I think, out in the weather with no major rain, I think it'll dry out enough to paint. So they got the wires in the trench here, and they're all covered back up, and the wires are run. Cat 6 is going into the mobile home and connected to the Starlink system. So like I said, I'll give it a try tonight and see how that works out. That's all I got done today, so talk to you tomorrow.